I'm sure you can relate to the feeling of overwhelm as the things accumulate in our homes, and that is why I like to declutter monthly. And today I'm going to share my why on what I'm getting rid of. I keep this basket in my office, and as I go through my home cleaning and just living my normal life, I grab things that I see I no longer want. And I'm gonna start talking through this, but first I wanna start with something a little more interesting. The other day I decided to do the No Mess Decluttering by Dana K. White in my garage, and my mom actually came over and helped me go through it all and just declutter one section of our garage. And then we have, of course, the master plan to go through and declutter and organize our entire garage, because that's really never happened. We've decluttered in the past and organized, but it never properly got set up with enough shelving. But I was able to find a few things that I decided could be decluttered even after the fact. So I found these windshield wipers that I bought a long time ago. I don't even know how long ago. And I was thinking I was going to have to put them in the donation basket just to give away. But then my mom reminded me that we bought these from Costco, and even though it was a long time ago, Costco lets you return stuff even way past 30 days. I think years they usually take stuff back. So they're perfectly good. They've just been sitting on a shelf, and I'm pretty sure we had our windshield wipers changed the last time we took our cars in to get fixed. So I am going to see if I can return these. And I just wanted to mention that because they are leaving my house. Even though they're getting returned, they're still being decluttered. You also would have seen this being moved around in that video. And this was on my project list of something that needed to get done. So I asked my husband if he could put these LED lights up. We had one that went out in the kitchen and I wanted them to match. They were the kind that you can't replace the light bulb, so you have to replace the whole fixture. Long story short, we went to Lowe's, found these. I thought, oh, these will be great. They were a good price. Put them up. I hate them. They are, don't ever buy these, okay? They are like a spotlight going straight down. So now the plan is to take these back down, return them, and I'm going to have to get a different type of light fixture. So I just want to mention this as well because it is getting decluttered. So even though it's being returned, it's leaving my home, which is what I consider to be decluttered, whether it's trash, donation, or a return. And honestly, I think in general, I need to start trying to see if I can return more things, because if they don't work for us, why should I lose money on that? When it's perfectly good and can be returned for someone else who might want this. I don't think you want it, but anyway. On to the basket of stuff. I was cleaning up my boys' room, and just periodically I go in, see if the way everything is organized is still working, and I came across this. It was given to one of my sons as a gift, and we never did it, and I started to think about it. We could pull it down, we could paint this, but then I thought, do I really want to now have this wooden mobile somewhere in my home permanently? And the answer is no. And the fact that they had no interest in doing this in probably over a year, I'm just going to donate it. It can go. We have two books here. My son actually brought these up to me and said, I don't want these anymore. Please get rid of them. Please donate them, he said. And I think the reason is these books freak him out. There's something about these books that scare him, and I'm just going to let them go without really a second thought about it because he doesn't want them. And if my kids are happy to declutter something, I am just happy to let that go. Next is a baby blanket. This was given to us when Levi was born from the hospital, and honestly, we just have too many. And that's something I'm trying to think about when I'm going through my home, cleaning, decluttering, organizing, whatever the situation is. I'm trying to see if we just have too much of something. If we already have 4 blankets just like this that are perfectly good, why do I need a 5th one? And so I'm gonna let this go. As I'm doing this, my hair is like continuing to fall out of this braid. Anyway, I wanna mention, if you have kids, this is my tip that I like to use, because I've found that the sooner you get rid of something that you know you don't need, for instance, that blanket, if I were to hold on to that for another year or two, at that point, they become attached to certain things, even though they don't make any sense, like a random blanket from a hospital, they become attached to it, and then it's so much harder to get rid of something. So with Levi, I'm trying to really get rid of stuff as soon as I know we don't need it, so there's not this weird attachment to an item they don't even use. This was something my mom brought over. It didn't work out for her. She thought it might work in my kitchen sink. It's kind of a catcher thing. But I don't even really know what this is for. Anyhow, I haven't used it. It's been sitting in my basket of kitchen stuff and I've decided to let it go. Okay, don't know what to do with this hair. My husband's track pants, he said that why are these in here now? I can't remember the reason. But he said they don't work for whatever reason, and I told him, why are you keeping them? I forget the reason why, but I'm gonna get rid of them. I have here, these are pajamas that they weren't originally pajamas, just a tank top and a shirt. But I wanna just show you this. Can you see a light coming through this? You can probably see my face through here. It's threadbare and there's holes in it. And to be honest, I like to wear this to stay warm. And when something becomes that see-through and flimsy, it's not keeping me warm anymore. I actually love this because it's so comfortable, but it's at the point now where it just really needs to go. So I'm letting that go. And same with this tank top. It's so stretched out and worn out that it just needs to leave my home and quit clogging up my drawer. And I just want to mention that when I say decluttering, I'm showing you everything I'm getting rid of. Some of this stuff can't be donated. If it has holes, it's like a rag at that point, and I'm not gonna go take it to a donation location. I'm just probably gonna throw it away or see if it can be recycled. And then moving on to some of Levi's stuff, the baby stuff. Look at how many bibs we have. We have this many, actually more in here. We never even needed this many bibs. I mean, how many bibs? We were given all these bibs. Honestly, come on. How many bibs are you gonna go through in one day, in 1 week? We never needed this many to begin with, and I think they were given to us and I just stuck them up in a little container. I have saved maybe 2 or 3. He's really past that stage now, but I'm gonna let this stuff go before it just continues to take up space, and maybe for years I wouldn't know that it's up there. This is the kind of stuff that I'm pulling out as I see it. Then we have 2 little outfits that he is completely grown out of, and kids grow so fast. If you have kids, grandkids, teenagers, whatever, they go through stuff really quickly, and I just find if I don't keep up on it and constantly look through their drawers to see what's worn out, what doesn't fit anymore, it can just sit there for a really long time, taking up space. So I just like to grab this stuff as soon as I see we don't need it anymore and get rid of it. This bottle is a perfect example of something I should have decluttered a long time ago. This is why I'm so happy that we are more minimal and trying to live clutter-free, because I've been able to get through all of Levi's babyhood from birth till 1 year old with literally 3 bottles. This was a backup one I had in case something, happened to the other 3. I just kept this one randomly, but 3 bottles, and we use it, I wash it immediately, and then we use it again. And I wanted to have 3, of course, because, if you're going somewhere for the day, but I can't believe I got through his whole entire baby time with 3 bottles. Most people have 10, 20 bottles, and it just kind of, being more minimal just changes my whole perspective on how much of something that we actually need. And I want to mention that those 3 bottles came to us previously used from someone else. The only thing I changed were the little top nipple things. So we were reusing them already, and I don't know why they couldn't continue to be used by possibly another child. And then we have this little, whatever you call it, swim thing. He never even got to wear this, unfortunately, because I bought it last summer in the hopes that he would go swimming, there'd be a warm day, and it just never worked out. So it came from a secondhand store, and it will go back to a secondhand store. Now we have a carrier, the kind that I can tie her on me and carry him around. I'm getting rid of this because I have one of the more structured carriers. So in case I needed to go out and carry him somewhere. He's 1 and a few months now, and honestly, I think we're past that. He doesn't really like that feeling of being kind of trapped in a carrier anymore. So I'm for sure gonna get rid of this, and hopefully somebody else can use it. Again, I bought this secondhand. It'll go back to the secondhand store. Seriously, as I'm doing this, my hair is like falling out of this loose braid I did, and yeah, I'm thinking of getting a new hairstyle soon, but we'll see. And then I have 2 swaddle blankets, kind of burp blankets, and these are gonna go as well. I think I saved one just in case we need it if we go somewhere, you know, that sort of thing, but no longer need these. And again, I'm trying to get rid of stuff immediately. So as soon as I see something we don't need, it just needs to go, because these are the sort of things that just will clog up a drawer for a really long time, get pushed to the back, and then we wonder why things are getting out of control again. And it turns out it's just some items we don't need anymore. They're just taking up space, and that space could be used for items that we do use regularly. Overall, decluttering my home monthly has really helped me to stay minimal and to keep myself from becoming completely overwhelmed and cluttered up all over again. So I read a really interesting article, and it might have been from the Becoming Minimalist blog, but it was all about how we don't want to get into this decluttering hamster wheel, if you will, where you're trying to stay minimal, but you're just decluttering constantly. And I have 2 thoughts on that. I do feel if you want to stay minimal, you definitely have to buy less. And I've tried really hard to pay attention to what I'm bringing into my home and questioning every purchase. Do I really need this? Am I going to use it? Am I going to get enough use out of it that it makes sense to have this in my home, even if it's for, you know, a season of life? And I just try to really question what I'm bringing into my home. And then on the other hand, I have to say though, to stay minimal, decluttering does have to keep going. It's an ongoing process, because even if we are so careful with what we're bringing into our home, things just creep in. You get gifts, have a baby, life changes, maybe your size changes and you need to get some new clothes. Therefore, you need to declutter the clothes that no longer fit, or you lose the weight again, you need to declutter the clothes you got for the short time your weight changed, whatever the situation is. For instance, our garage, the video I just did with my mom, that was a perfect example of, we do a lot of projects on our home, and that just creates stuff. Things you need for one project you have sitting there because, oh, there's some extra screws left over, there's some extra nails left over, wood, whatever that is left over from that project now has accumulated and piled up, and now it's sitting in your garage. And then I have to think, what am I going to do with this? Am I going to donate it? Can I donate it? Does it need to be thrown out or recycled or taken to a toxic waste station? Whatever the situation is, I personally find that decluttering has to continue on to stay more minimal. But of course, as I always say, I've also had to really limit what I'm bringing into my home and think about what I'm buying and what I truly need to stay more minimal. I hope that this discussion was helpful for you on your decluttering journey, or wherever you're at on your simplification process. And if you're new here, please hit subscribe. I noticed that over 50% of the people that watch my videos are not subscribed, and I would love to have you join my channel by hitting the subscribe button, and I will hopefully see you in the next video. Have a nice day. Bye.